But here's what I know. This isn't a crisis. A crisis is an emergency that requires you to put out fires right now, the way that you do everything else in your life. But what you're feeling, that's not a fire to be put out. It's a flame to fan. It's information. Your emotions know before your brain does that your current environment no longer fits the woman that you're becoming. What if I've wasted time building a life that I don't even want anymore? You're not being selfish and you're not having a midlife crisis. You're experiencing an emotional evolution, and evolution requires transition. A crisis is an emergency. It requires immediate attention. It's reactive, it's chaotic, and it's all about survival. But evolution is strategic. It's planned, it's protective, and it's all about who you're becoming. When you label what you're feeling as a crisis, you treat it like a fire to be put out. You panic, you make decisions from fear, you either blow everything up or you suppress everything down. Neither one of those options serves your future self. But when you recognize this as an evolution, you treat it like a transition. You get clear, you get strategic, you protect what you've built while you move toward what you're becoming. God isn't asking you to stay stuck in a version of yourself that you've outgrown. He's calling you forward toward the mark, toward the prize, toward the woman he created you to be. And that calling is not crisis, it's purpose. You have to believe that wanting something different for your future doesn't mean you're betraying your past. Learn the truth, not the story that you've been telling yourself just to keep the peace. Strategy protects what you've built. Don't just leap just because you're uncomfortable. Investigate the path forward. Negotiate with yourself first, then with the people that are going to be impacted by this transition. This is where most women skip ahead and mess everything up. They negotiate with everyone else before they negotiate with themselves. You have to negotiate with yourself first. Listen, you don't have to burn everything down to honor this transition. You can start small with micro habits, small shifts, tiny moves that signal to yourself and the people around you that you're prioritizing yourself and your future. But lately, you've been thinking, I don't know if I want to do this for the next 15 years until retirement. That thought won't go away. It's not tied to a bad project or a difficult boss. It's deeper than that. You're questioning whether this career path still aligns with who you're becoming. It's not burnout. This is evolution. I've grown out of this role. I need to explore what's next. You shift your mindset from I'm stuck to I'm preparing for my next move. That's strategic evolution, not crisis, not chaos, evolution. Write down three things that you're grateful for every morning. It's not toxic positivity. This is strategic remembrance. When you treat this as an evolution instead of a crisis, you show up with clarity. You know what you want. You know what you're willing to do to get it, and you're not reacting, you're planning. You protect what you've built, your relationships don't fall apart, your career doesn't implode, and your reputation stays intact. You start using it as information and stop pretending to be satisfied when you're really not. You start asking for what you need and become the woman you've always wanted to be. Asking for help isn't weakness, it's strategy. But as an accomplished woman, you've been rewarded your entire career for not needing help, for figuring things out, and for being the one who handles it. Your competence is your currency. So asking for help feels like you're devaluing yourself. The woman you're becoming doesn't measure her worth by how much she handles everything alone. She measures it by how strategically she builds systems that allow her to lead well. So here's the truth: asking for help doesn't feel like failure because you can't handle things. It feels like failure because your entire career has been rewarded for you not needing help. The skills that got you here won't get you where you're going. And if you keep operating like asking for help is a failure, then you'll hit a ceiling that you can't break through. You have to believe that needing help doesn't disqualify you from leadership, it positions you for it. Learn the difference between what only you can do and what you're doing because you don't trust anyone else to do it. This is where most women fail. They ask for help, but don't clarify what help looks like. So the person tries to help, does it differently than you would have done it, and you take it back because it's easier for you to just do it yourself. And that's not your help failing you, that's you failing to negotiate clearly. Let me tell you what refusing to ask for help is stealing from you. You're sacrificing your leadership effectiveness. When you try to do everything yourself, you become the bottleneck. When you ask for help strategically, you stop being the bottleneck. You become the leader. And that's the shift that matters to your future self, the woman that you're becoming. Here's what I want you to remember: asking for help isn't failure, it's strategy. Your competence isn't measured by how much you can handle alone, it's measured by how well you build systems that allow you to lead. Your emotions impact your thinking impacts your behavior creates your environment. When you use the BLING concept, you ask for help strategically and you build the right future. You're doing the work of two people at the office. You're the one everyone comes to when something needs to get done right. At home, you're managing everything: schedules, logistics, emotions, decisions. And you're holding resentment you're not saying out loud. Not because people are doing anything to you, because you keep saying yes when you mean no. Your emotions impact your thinking. Your thinking impacts your behavior, and your behavior creates your environment, both your current environment and your future. So here's the truth: resentment isn't other people's fault, it's your indication that your decision making process, it failed you. Leaders who say yes to everything experience lower team respect over time. And here's why: your team can see that you're overloaded. When you keep saying yes anyway, they lose respect for your judgment. They start to question if you can actually determine what really matters. So the resentment that you're holding on to is not their failure, it's your communication gap. You're making decisions based on fear. If you're saying yes to avoid guilt or fear, then that's a reactive decision. If you're saying yes because it genuinely serves your goals, then that's a strategic decision. Trust in yourself. If you can't say yes without resentment, the yes should be a no. Listen, intimacy with your husband isn't optional. Emotionally, you need to be vulnerable to someone. And your relationship with your husband is designed specifically for this. Not your girlfriends, not your mom, not your therapist, your husband. You can't ask for help without emasculating him. How you communicate matters. His role at home is to cover and protect you, but he can't do that if you don't tell him what you need. Vulnerability is allowing yourself the freedom to trust someone with information, with tasks, or with needs at a time when you could easily be hurt. But that's the part of your future life strategy. The self gut check method helps you decide in the moment. It helps you name what you're feeling, understand what's driving the yes, and choose strategically. It prevents resentment by helping you decide before you say yes to something you'll regret. But when you say yes to everything, something shifts. Your team starts to see that you're overloaded, and when you keep saying yes anyway, they don't respect you anymore. Leaders who can't say no become the bottlenecks. Your team can't move forward because everything has to go through you. Resentment isn't other people's fault. It's your signal that you're saying yes when you mean no. But if you keep making decisions based on who you've been, you'll never become who you're meant to be. You're sacrificing your future by maintaining your past. Strategic no's create space for meaningful yeses, and that makes you more effective, not less. Your no should mean no. When you say yes but mean no, you're not being kind. You're being unclear. You say no without apology, without guilt, just with clarity. That's emotional sophistication